Okay guys, this is my 5th attempt at recording this episode. I want to keep this short, like under 5 minutes, but it seems that it's just not possible and I need to be okay with that. Alright, at the moment I am in creative mode. Every single item that's in my hotbar and in my inventory right now is stuff that I have obtained with the exception of these seeds, which were already in my inventory before I switched to creative mode. These are all items I obtained while trying to perform previous recordings that have gone sour. There are no doors right here anymore. I only took them out of this room, and I'll explain why in a minute. First, I want to talk about this button. I guess maybe I didn't talk about it in a previous episode. I mean, I know I put out a lot of episodes, and certain players are pretty busy and can't watch all of them right away. But T. Calhoun pushed this button when he was here last, and he didn't realize what was going on. He thought it didn't do anything, and I just placed it here, to get it out of my inventory or something. I'd like you to look at my hotbar. You see I've got seeds, golden sword, stone sword, and rotten flesh. When I press this button, this is what's going to happen. This is how it looks behind the wall. Oops. So you press that button, and it deactivates the redstone torch. And then the redstone torch, as the button deactivates, when the button deactivates, the redstone torch reactivates. When the redstone torch reactivates, I'll give you an example. This is actually probably the best way I could do this. Get rid of that. Alright, do it that way. Alright, so this is basically what's going on. These are receiving power right now. Press the button, they stop receiving power, and then they start again. Okay, well, notice, see these guys? Now imagine these guys, instead of being redstone lamps, imagine that they are command blocks, because that's actually what they are. So right behind here, you see I've got a command block, and there's another one, here, behind this block, another one down there, and another one over there. First of all, so when you press this button, watch my inventory. See that? It removed something happened to the one that's for seeds. Okay, so we got 367. I think seeds is this one. Nope, that's one of the swords. Seeds, probably the one underneath. Yep. Was it 295? Yeah. Yep, I didn't change this one yet. That's one of the things that happened in the previous recording. I switched all those to at Seiferus so that they would only affect me. And as you saw, for some reason, I guess I don't have a firm grasp on command blocks because it didn't end up working the way I had thought it was going to. I had switched it to at Seiferus originally because I had wanted it to only clear my inventory, because I didn't think it was possible, but it ended up having a casualty with T. Calhoun when he was here, because he had a stone sword in his inventory, which if you watch back my last episode, you'll notice he mentions he doesn't have a sword with him when I tell him that common practice when you're pranking somebody is that you're supposed to kill them when they log on while you're in the middle of pranking them. He had mentioned he didn't have a sword, and I had watched back his episode and noticed he did have a sword, but when he clicked this button, it removed it from his inventory. So, to all the players on the server, that's what that does. The next thing I want to show, originally, when I was trying to show this off, it was in a situation like this, and I was talking, and I was not in creative mode when I first logged on. In fact, I had to jump into creative mode because of what happened. So I had a bone in my hand, and I went to click on this just to do the thing. And I'm in creative mode, so I'll break any block I hit. But to go like that and just kind of like click briefly on the item I was talking about to sort of direct your attention to it. And I wasn't in creative mode, but I broke it immediately. For instance, watch this. So now I'm in survival mode. Took one hit, completely decimated it. So the reason I want to show you guys this is because if you're planning, if you're watching this on YouTube and you have your own server that has people in it that are not, if you got people in survival mode or even adventure mode, I don't know about adventure mode. I imagine it would still happen in adventure mode. As a rule of thumb, when you're working with something like this, you definitely want to encase it in bedrock, because anybody on the server basically, let's try it. Game mode 2. Now I'm in adventure mode. Okay, so you can't break it in adventure mode, so that's good to know. Now you have to understand the reason I had to enter creative mode is because in survival mode, when I broke it, I thought it was because I was still server operator. Okay. Eventually, I switched back, which I'm about to do in a second, and it turns out that I clicked on it and it broke it just the same. And the only reason I had to switch, because before I wasn't in creative mode, I just happened to be server operator. The reason I had to switch to creative mode was because I had to put it back, the one that was right here that I accidentally broke. And then after I was done, I de-opt myself like this. Let me get rid of these first. Oh. Jeez. Game mode 1. Just trying to get rid of these items so that everybody knows that I haven't cheated in any way. Real quick before I de-op, I just want to mention Alamantis, if you're watching, and I'm sure you will have seen this at one point or another. I know we talked about command blocks at one point, and I had not been too keen on the idea of using them on our server. And I basically had let you know that I had to think about it. I didn't think I wanted to let us use them. And I'm sure it's irritating to have heard me say that. And sure enough, at my base and also in the Nether Hub, I've got several command blocks. How many do I have? 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 command blocks have been put on the server, and not including this one. I would just like to ease your mind and let you know that the reason I've got command blocks here is because I am trying to warm up to the idea of letting other players utilize them. And right now I'm just sort of getting used to what commands I feel are not crossing the boundary, because we want to keep it pretty vanilla, but I would like to allow, because I know Alamantis is a very creative person and he would really come up with some cool things to do with these command blocks, but I need to make sure that they don't get abused. And one of the ways I feel like they could be abused, other than obviously having them, give at P. This is what I've got the one in the Nether doing. I need this, and I need that. This is what the one in the Nether does. You press it, and it gives you water. And I would prefer it if I could write. I don't know if it's even possible. I don't think it is, but I'd prefer it if I could write a script or whatever in here that queried your inventory and found out if you had any ice blocks, and then replaced those ice blocks with the appropriate number of this flowing water. Because I tweeted at Dinnerbone and asked him if he would be willing to make ice melting in the Nether and producing water. I asked him if he would be willing to make that a game rule, similar to the game rule of keep inventory and mob griefing off and all that kind of stuff. But he's a busy guy, and I don't know that they're going to get around to that anytime soon. So this is my alternative at the moment. Anyway. So the other one, obviously, is the one that this does, where it clears my inventory of items that I find a nuisance, because, gold swords come from zombie pigmen, rotten flesh come from zombie pigmen and zombies, stone swords I get from fighting wither skeletons, and seeds are just often annoying for other reasons. So I just set up this little trash chute that anytime I come in here, I can press this button, and it'll take care of items in my inventory that are just clogging it up. So that's one way I'd like to allow players on the server to utilize command blocks if and when we get to the point where I feel like that's an okay thing for us to do. By the way that I set up the command blocks here, and also the ones in the nether, I set up the activator, and I hollowed out so that there was an opening for them in the spots where they occupy. And then I actually went into single player, because this is actually, today's the first time I've been in creative mode on this server for this kind of thing, or, you know, at all really. But, I didn't want, because you have to be a server operator and in creative mode to be able to use command blocks. So what I just do instead, so that I don't get tempted to have to be in here, and obviously I had to now. I mean, I suppose I didn't have to. I could have just used MC Edit, but I thought it was worth mentioning and showing. Anyway, so what I ended up doing is I hollowed out those spots, and then I went into a single player world and set up all the command block stuff, and I copied in just those 4 blocks with MC Edit. So I didn't have to, you know, enter creative mode before. Anyway, let's see, it's daytime, dang it. So I wanted to show you guys, well actually it wouldn't have mattered. Okay, so I mentioned T. Calhoun had pressed this button, and now I'm going to switch my game mode to 0, and I'm also going to de-op myself. Alright, now I just want to show you, I'm in survival mode, and I'm also no longer a server operator. Watch this. It still only took 1 single hit to break that. Okay, so I don't want to keep anything from you guys and have you see it later and think I'm holding out. I do have 1 in here at the moment. I intended to give this to Alamantis, but I don't want to leave it lying around because, well, actually the reason I had done that, and I guess I'll just do it now, is because I was afraid that if I de-opt myself, I wouldn't be able to break that block at all, sort of similar to the way that you can't break it in adventure mode. Okay, so now it's gone. No need to worry about it anymore. Anyway, so Alamantis, I would in fact like to talk with you later when we are working more on the spawn village, which has not been really, nothing has been done to it at all. I'd like to figure out ways that we can utilize command blocks, because Alamantis had expressed interest in using them just merely to display messages. You know, the way that like in an RPG you'd, oh man, server lag. When in RPG you walk into a tavern or something and it would say, you know, shopkeeper says, yada yada yada. By the way, that reminds me, if any of you guys watch Corrales, he's an amazing builder, and I get a kick out of his voice every time he starts his episode. The stuff that he says at the beginning of every one of his episodes, like his introduction to hey, how's it going kind of stuff, I always feel like I'm listening to the shopkeeper in Resident Evil 4 that follows you around. His voice really doesn't sound like him, but it always makes me think of it. I just thought I'd bring that up. Anyway, so T. Calhoun, I know after watching your video, which I thoroughly enjoyed, especially how panicked you got when I logged on, I noticed that it seemed like you thought your prank might have been a failure as a prank, because it was sort of helpful to me and in some regards and whatnot. And I just want to let you know, your prank has had repercussions that we didn't really foresee, and I want you to know that it was an excellent prank. Okay, so first of all, unfortunately, in one of my previous recordings, I already demonstrated this and took it out, and I didn't save the recording, so I can't really, I mean, I don't want to take the time to put the doors back in, but when I would sleep here, and it would turn to daytime, when doors occupied every spot of this room, when it would turn daytime and I'd, you know, come back into playing and wake up, I'd be in a wall. Actually, I think I'd be in this block right here. My head would be stuck in it. When it happened, I logged out immediately and logged back in so that hopefully it would find the best possible place for me and put me up on top. But it actually stuck me right here, and I couldn't move because my feet were on the ground. So my knees were in the bed, and I couldn't move at all. So I had to break through this dirt, which the very first punch I did took this off the wall, took this off of the furnace, and if you don't know, that's not a fun, I have to basically tear out a lot of this stuff in order to get that on there. So your prank has provided much frustration. So I got through here, but I didn't, stupidly, I didn't take out the doors at the moment, because I had figured I would just, when I needed to sleep at night, because I wanted to leave the doors for a while so that the villagers could breed. By the way, I took the doors that were in here, because I'm pretty sure that the villagers don't recognize these doors, the villagers up here, I mean. So I just took the doors that were in there, and I put them over here to kind of complete the area right here that he hadn't finished yet. There's still room for like 2 or 3, but I've had even more villagers. I've had some more breeding happening in there. So pretty soon I'm probably going to do something about this, because I feel like they're eventually going to start glitching and suffocating the way that my sheep keep dying. Anyway, so I didn't clean up those doors at first, because I wanted to keep it for a few episodes just to let these guys kind of see how big my village would get. And what I ended up doing, I just figured, I'll sleep here at night, But I had already showed, in the video, I had already showed, the recording I had tried previously, I had already showed myself sleeping in that bed, and I came down here with torches in my hand, and I went through, and I placed the torch here and a couple torches here, because I checked the block light, and sure enough, even with this open, it was block light 4 right here. So I lit it up so that I would be able to, prevent creepers and whatnot from spawning. And then I went into the nether, and my goodness, if it happens again, I'm gonna be so ticked. Yep, again! Ooh. Alright. Oh god, don't hit him. Oh, it didn't even break my portal. By the way, I moved my portal back 1 block so that I could kind of get this nice stuff going in. Alright, so I don't know what's causing it, but literally the last 3 times in a row that I've come to the nether, I've dealt with a creeper explosion. The time just before this one, I came in and it delayed a little bit, like the creeper didn't blow up. By the way, if you noticed, I moved back towards that wall and the creeper explosion didn't seem to hurt me at all. And I think it's because of me moving this back 1 block and having this sort of a little bit of a blast shield here, I guess. And my reason for coming in here was that I wanted to demonstrate to people on the server that I have one of these in my ender chest. I plan on putting a few in here, but I'm concerned that the creeper blast, which apparently that one didn't do much damage, but I was concerned that it might blow this up and kind of potentially lose the item. But for people on the server, I want you to know that if you're ever at a spot where your portal blows up and you're stuck, I want to put a chest on the other side of this portal towards my, in my actual base. I would like to put a chest somewhere really close to it that's filled with flint and steel, so you could just take one and use it to relight your portal. Anyway, another thing. Oh yeah, well I should mention. Completely forgot that I was talking about the evil prank. So T-Hoon, I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy hearing this. So the other time I came through, the time before the time I came in just now, or before that time previous, I came through and it was a little bit delayed. Like I could see the creeper. There was also a spider and a zombie in here. And I was like, oh crap, I don't know what to do. And I, because it was delayed a little bit, like the creeper was having trouble exploding at first because of lag or something, I ran through, and because I was no longer standing, I guess, in this safety zone where I guess the portal takes the brunt of the force when it gets destroyed by the creeper blast, and then you're okay. I died when the creeper blew up and left a huge crater here. And because my bed was surrounded by doors, you'll never guess where I respawned. I respawned all the way in the overworld portion, all the way over by Pecos's base. And it was still nighttime. And Pecos, I'm very sorry. There are 2 big craters from creepers that blew up while I was trying to look for the portal that I lit to get back here. So I'm sorry for that. Yeah, so I just came down here and I came back. I'm really frustrated and angry. Well, not really. By the way, I was really shocked. Oop, there's a zombie pig man right there. I was really shocked when because I realized I hadn't actually shown the video, but I had done some tests before where I had used, I think I hadn't shown the video, but I had done some tests where I had been playing around with the minecarts, and I had a second one on the track, so on my way over, I hit it, and I thought it popped into my inventory, but in fact, it actually stopped right here. And you saw in my last video that I found it and was overjoyed. Now that's actually very strange, because in T. Calhoun's video, he found the very same minecart, like the dropped item, floating right here, and he picked it up himself. Or maybe, I don't know, was it over towards, it might have been over there, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was right here though, and I'm just like, that's so weird. That is so strange. Because I expected to see it, I guess. That's why I kind of looked for it. I'm like, I wonder if, and they're like, oh yeah, it's here. How weird is it that it duplicated or something and he got it as well? I don't know, that's just too weird for me. Anyway, so on the matter of that, of me dying and respawning over at where our spawn point is currently set up at Pecos' base, for those of you who don't know, on this server, because I don't, it's just the easiest way to kind of handle it. When a new player comes on, I move the spawn point to where their base is, so that if they die before they're able to craft a bed, they won't respawn at the spawn village, because they wouldn't have any idea how to get to their base and whatever. And I don't want the spawn village, which you'll notice on our Google Map style version of the world that's on the Third Echelon website. You'll notice that we've got, like, here's a little area where the spawn village is, loaded chunk wise, and then up here's my base, and then here's a little and then of course over here you'll see Inverted Shadow will have like a strip of chunks all the way to R. Stong's base in the next upload, because he trekked all the way over there. But I don't want people to respawn in the spawn village and wander and load all those chunks, because it's wasting hard drive space for me to have the world file get really big. And also, as they update things in the game, I want those chunks to stay unloaded, so that when they do get loaded, potentially they'll have new items or new ore or new something in there. So what I often do is I just prune the chunks to only leave what we've actually built at and worked on. So anyway, I just want to mention though, R. Stong, I saw when I was at your base, and this is just a cautionary warning for you, I saw that your bed had sandstone half slabs around it. And I wonder if you did that because you saw, when I created the arena, I did the same thing because it looked really cool. And you're able to sleep and make it daytime. If you die, it's going to make you respawn at the spawn point, which is currently at Pecos' base. Originally, the spawn point was at R. Stong's base, so it didn't matter. But I'm telling you, if you die, it is going to say your bed was obstructed or destroyed, and you are going to respawn at Pecos' area. So just know that. You're probably going to want to start sleeping in a different bed to set your spawn, because it's going to affect where you respawn. Alright guys, anyway, I'm sure this took way too long. It's taken at least 2 hours just to record this little bit. Oh, you know what? One more thing I want to talk about. I started putting down some notes of things I want to talk about, and I already mentioned the button incident with T. Calhoun. I just want to say, after the Halloween update, you guys may have noticed there have been almost no bats. I haven't run into a single one. In fact, in my last episode, I heard one when I watched the recording back, and that's what spurned this idea of because it's one of those things you don't really think about it because you don't see them all that much. Up until recently, there weren't even bats in Minecraft. So if you stopped playing and hadn't played for a long time during the time when, during Halloween, when they had made them spawn much more frequently at different levels, so that you'd be more likely to see them during Halloween time. You might even not notice that they had been added to the game. So I just wanted to mention that for anybody who had been upset and frustrated at the bats and the noise they make and stuff, I hope that you've noticed now that if your base is similar to mine, it's above ground, you hardly have to deal with them at all. All right, guys. Anyway, I'm gonna take it from here and just kind of, or basically, I'm gonna log off and get to work because I got a lot of work to finish now that I've wasted all this time. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this episode wasn't too long, but I'm sure it was probably an hour. Anyway, take it easy.